guys, how are you doing today? So today we're going to be talking about the law that changed my life, and I'm sure it's gonna change your life. But before we talk about that, let me ask you, have you taken time to think about this? Like literally every single person in this freaking universe doesn't have their shit together. Like everyone wants to manifest something. You could be financially very abundant, but you need something else, and for you that's not a priority right now, because what happens is when you meet your desires, they become very normalized to you. Scale shifts to a point that something else looks more desirable and you want to attain it. So usually oftentimes when we are faced with these emotions of feeling like we're not worth it, we are not enough, we need to change, we need to be perfect, we need to change, usually it sprouts from us forgetting, myself included, that literally no one in this entire universe has their shit together, and everyone is trying to manifest their desires. Yes, even the monks, because what we see is that as much as monks are not materialistic people, they want to manifest different states of consciousness in their life, and sometimes it takes decades for them to be able to master a concept like forgiveness or even letting go. And I think it's Jay Shetty who said that a monk is simply a traveler, except the journey is inward. Life is a game, all you have to do is know how to play it. The game being the ability to manifest what you want into your life, your desired want. Through contrast, as Abraham Hicks says it, like you have to go through life experiences to experience something, to know how it actually feels to go through something, and now you have a polarity towards what you really want, and you can be able to decipher and be authentic to yourself, knowing that deep inside you this is actually what you want. So the game literally is co-creating with God. I believe that God, the main thing, the main agenda of God for us here in earth is to be able to co-create with him. Literally he created us in his own image, and God is the creator. For us to be able to want something and get it, like the satisfaction and the feeling that comes from you actually desiring something and co-creating it, there's no creation. Like creation is finished, literally. It's not that you're creating something else, God already did that. It's for you realizing it and it becoming manifest to you. It's you knowing how to navigate through life and knowing what to do in order for you to be able to realize that. And just like any game, and I'm using game as a metaphor here, there are different rules and laws that you need to know, and it's important to know these laws because you just can't assume them. The universe is very architectural, like there are so many patterns in the universe. And honestly, when I read the Bible and I come across the phrases of where God tells us not to be lazy, is because he expects us to go out there and to be able to realize that there are general rules and laws that we need to familiarize yourself in, to know the trajectory of how our desires are likely to be manifested. And for example, like a business scenario, like there are general rules and laws that you have to familiarize yourself with, and in turn increasingly put your authenticity and now put on other things like faith and taking risk and knowing all those things. As much as you wouldn't know exactly how your business will do, usually there's a trajectory, a knowing of exactly where you're going. In a relationship, you can't be a shitty partner and not be vulnerable and expect your relationship to blossom. No, there are general rules and laws in a relationship and in any other game of life. The game is seeing how all those puzzles come together, create this bigger character, and you leveling up. And then when you're leveled up, you play almost the same thing, but with higher rules and higher laws. But usually the trajectory is almost the same, and it's up for you to figure out. Like literally, that's the cycle of life. So usually times when you're in this journey of self-realization, you come across different laws of the universe. You need to familiarize yourself with these laws if you want to manifest something, like knowing about the law of cause and effect. An effect outside your reality, in your reality, it's a cause of you. Popular law of attraction, which is a secondary law of the law of vibration, which basically talks about everything is vibrating and we live in an ocean of motion. And usually if you need to manifest something, or you need something realized in your reality, it means that you're not on the frequency of that thing that you want to manifest. For example, let's say if you want to manifest a fit body, it's usually because you're not in the frequency of that. And usually times when you read about these laws, for example, speaking from my own experience, I usually felt like I need to change something about myself. I'm not enough. That frequency they're talking about, I need to go get another book. I need to go watch the next video until I know exactly what they mean. For example, if you want financial abundance, you want to take an Elon Musk book and see what he does, his core values, and how he lives life, and literally emulate that to be able to attract that frequency, or even be the vicinity of the frequency that you want to desire. But the true essence of what I'm realizing is that that's not true, and it's a rat race. You just put yourself in a dark hole where you literally, there's no bottom, and this is what is termed as self-development. What you need to do is self-realize, and I did a video about this. You can check that video. I'll pin it, titled "You've Always Had the Answer." What you need to realize is that there are 8 point something billion perfect human beings in the whole entire world. Like, authenticity is the key here, putting in mind the general laws that you need to do to be able to manifest whatever you want. We are in a game, and the game has structures, and it has rules, and it has general rules. Like, literally, you can't be a bad person and expect to live a really good life without any bad consequences, because this is what the game is all about. Like, you need to realize yourself and know how your train of thoughts work, you know how your feelings feel. Because imagine trying to explain someone the feeling of happiness. No one in this entire world can really know exactly how it feels. You have to do it yourself. Like, you need to take on the game yourself. No one is gonna do anything for you, and I think that's just a beautiful thing that God created, because it only forces everyone to be able to work hard, to self-realize and to self-actualize, because we already possess everything that you want. And so that brings me to the secret law that I've been keeping for this long, law of assumption. So basically, the law of assumption talks about assuming the state of already being, or already possessing, or already experiencing what you desire to experience. Creation is finished. Creativeness is only a deeper receptiveness for the entire content of all time and all space, while experience in a time sequence actually coexist in an infinite and eternal now. In other words, all that you ever have been or ever will be, in fact, all that mankind ever was or ever will be, exists now. This is what is meant by creation, and the statement that creation is finished means that nothing is ever to be created. It is only becoming aware of what is already is. With the law of assumption, it's basically knowing that all the frequencies that you want to match, and the frequencies that you don't want to match, you all possess them. They are within your reach. You embody all of them, and it's your choice to be able to choose what frequency you want to realize and embody that. For example, if you want to be a confident person, you need to start being confident, living from a state of confidence, living and thinking of you doing confident stuff, and you living thinking from a confident state of view. Like, how would a confident person act? If you want financial abundance, acting, living in a state of abundance, how would you behave? How would that make you feel? Is living from that state, rather than thinking that it's something like you need to chase. It's knowing that all those law of attraction vibrations and frequencies, they are within your reach, and it's up to you to decide on the frequency that you want to match and embody that self. So the key here is to change your self-concept. Your self-concept determines the root of attention. As Joe Dispenza says, where you place your attention, energy follows. when you want to think about the other laws, like the law of attraction, from this state of mind, you can be able to realize that those frequencies that you need to match, or whatever you need to match to be able to be attracted to it, you don't need to chase it. You don't need to to get into the rat book of thinking that you're not enough. It's already within your reach, and it's up to you to choose it and embody that self-concept of that person that you want to be, and eventually it will show in your reality, so within, so without. So the main way of practicing this law is by visualizing, thinking from that state, thinking from the state of fulfilled desire, being that person you want to be. For example, if you want to be more fit and you want a certain specific type of physique, keeping in mind you haven't taken action yet, what usually happens is that when you start feeling from the state of the realized desire, you visualizing, just literally closing your eyes and visualizing yourself, for example, having the fit body, how will that make you feel? How will it feel when people compliment you and tell you how good you're looking, how your body looks fit? How will all that make you feel? Visualize yourself feeling the feeling like it's already happening right when you're walking somewhere, you're meeting your friends over lunch and they start complimenting you about your fit body. How will that make you feel? The second important thing to do is put your senses into the visualization. This is happening somewhere outside. You guys are having like lunch or something. Visualize yourself being in that environment and seeing how other people, and just maybe pierce into other people's conversation, maybe the noise of the music that the restaurant are playing, how you're dressed, how your friends look like, just making the senses play their part in the situation, just visualizing yourself in that situation fully. And then usually oftentimes when you're done doing that, don't count yourself out of the visualization, just let it be and just continue whatever you're doing. Oftentimes you'll start seeing that, you'll start getting motivated and inspired to actually and get impulses to go on Google and see where you can find some nice sexy gym wear, or even impulses to see what kind of gyms that are near you. Because if you start changing the within you, the outside you has to reflect, so the body automatically sprouts you and inspires you to take action, because every single action that we are taking is just impulses of the subjective environment translates to the objective environments. And that's where usually I like calling it the placebo effect, because the brain usually feels like it already has that kind of body, and so it's for that kind of body intuitively know what you need to do. Like for example, you need to go to the gym, so it inspires you and gives you energy to start even having to do things you could not have done before, like checking the monthly prices that you for a gym contract, or even the sexy gym wear that you need to use. And eventually what happens is that you find yourself taking the action already in the gym, and you're like halfway to your desired body. The keys of the law of assumption vital for you. Do you truly want it? Is it authentic to you? You need to ask yourself why you want your manifestations, and they have to be innately intentional that you really want them, and it's not something you saw on social media or your friends are influencing you to want something that is not really authentically something you want. Do you truly want to manifest them if you didn't have the kind of friends that you have? Like if literally you didn't care about what anyone else said, would you still want that kind of life? Because sometimes people talk about they've been visualizing or wanted to manifest something for such a long time, but in essence when you talk to them and dig deeper on exactly what they want, you realize that those were influenced desires, and it's not desires that were truly desired from them. Second key, persistent. You need to be persistent. Quote, the moment you declare yourself to be anything, everything unlike it will come into your space. This is majorly caused by the polarity. In the absence of that which you are not, that which you are is not. Usually what happens is that when you desire something, at first when you actually want something and you're like, I don't want this thing, I want these things, you create excess potential. And what usually happens is that the universe will immediately bring something that is not what you want into your reality. And that's why persistence is so key, because oftentimes people will experience this and see what is manifesting outside them, and they think, oh, there's something wrong I'm doing. No, but it's because of excess potential. Because oftentimes when you desire something, you're putting polarities. The universe works on balance. For example, you want a certain kind of lifestyle, and you start visualizing and desiring a certain kind of lifestyle. What happens is that neutrality of where you are to what you really want, you create a disparity, and the universe obviously very fast will bring to you the opposite of that. Because have you ever taken time to realize that everything that you ever desired and manifested it, you usually manifest it when it's second nature to you. You don't even think about it. There's not that much charge to what you want to manifest. That's why you need to be persistent on the polarity, because the more you visualize yourself and the more you start assuming the state of already being whatever you want, despite what is seen in your reality immediately, because of the excess potential, you need to persist on that. And the more you do it, the more you visualize it, the more it becomes like second nature to you. For example, if you want a certain kind of lifestyle, you start even dressing the way you would want to dress, or the way you would want to be, the person you want to be, because you're already thinking from the state of already being that, and it start becoming second nature to you, and it neutralizes. And that's when you start seeing the external environment reflecting whatever you were desiring. You need to be your true self. I believe our true self, our true nature as human beings, is to be happy, is to be joyful. Like, you need to be really in your good energies and be in your nature and just vibe in really good frequencies, being happy when your friends are doing well, be in that state of just knowing that there's just enough for everyone. You need to vibe high and just be in a very good energy. Appreciate and praise the things that you want to manifest. Assume the state of whatever you want to manifest, not to make that manifest. Literally need to assume that state, not to manifest, but assume the state, because it's gonna happen, like, because there's no other way. Don't choose the technique of visualizing yourself to be where you want to be in essence of manifesting. You need to use a law of assumption, not to manifest, but just because that's what you want. It's a choice you made and it's already done. Because when you use it as a technique, oftentimes you'll visualize and then put so much awareness to see if things are changing. But what you need to do is assume the state of already being what you want to be, and knowing that it's done, and knowing that you don't need to for something, or you don't need to visualize every day in the morning, you don't need to visualize every day at night, you don't need to do this specific time. Just know that it's done, you're gonna be that person, and it's gonna happen for you. Guys, yeah, thank you for watching the video till the end. I hope it was really beneficial to you. Yeah, I would love it if you subscribe to my channel, support the video. I want to grow my video so that I can reach more people. Have a great time. Bye.